What is
going
up?
on?
Everyone had a good
What's
weekend just watching money go up.
Yeah. How can you have a bad weekend?
We're up, bro. I think last Monday was probably our most pivotal space so far.
Yeah, they were really waiting for the election just to pump it. They're like, Trump's in.
100%.
Let's just send it. Zero tax, send it.
Just gonna send it.
Send it. Um,
So yeah,
slides aren't loading, so I will just present my screen here in a second.
Any fun things you gotta do this weekend?
I did not really had a little bit of a family party, but that's about it.
Did you shill my coins?
Did I show? No. Well, someone asked what I do, and I was like, I like to buy Bitcoin.
And they're like, what's Bitcoin at right now? And you're like, almost 100K. You should buy
I
it.
can't see it. It's
And
almost
everybody that
like-
was there, I mean, I told them, I was talking about it, like, 20K. Let's see. Let me go back to like Christmas 2 years ago. Let's see what it was.
Yeah, dude. This Christmas, you're gonna come home like a god. You're gonna be like, guess what I did this year? Nothing. And I tripled my money. I like 4x'd my money.
Christmas
Literally,
of
bro.
22, Bitcoin was at like 16, 17K. And that's, so,
It was a
yeah.
good time. It was easy back then, bro.
It was. All you had to do was buy.
True.
It was
We
easy.
started the new day candle. So this is what we need for the pivot space.
Yup.
Hopefully it's a pivot up from the red right now, but we still run it.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one because it's hard to pivot when the momentum is so strong. But let's get into it. I do have the slides up in a way that's typically not the way I do it, but hey, it's working. So I have been updating the Banana Zone Bitcoin throughout the day. I think it started at like 84K. And then I was like, oh no, I got to update it to 85. No, I got to update it to 86. Then I've been out with the kids at the play place, and I have not had time to update it to, I think, just about 89. I think I would round up to 89 at this point. It might be 89 at this point. It might be 90. It's out of control how fast Bitcoin's going up right now. I think roughly 11% on the day, which is just a monster candle. And so, yeah, Banana Zone. I know Raul Paul has been talking about Banana Zone for a long time. He was quite early to it, and to the extent that I think a lot of us were like, "Hey, is this guy know what he's talking about when it comes to Banana Zone?" But it's kind of here. It's Q4. We've talked about this for some time, to the extent that like we said it because like that's what should happen. But I don't know if we totally honestly thought it was going to happen quite like this. If you were to say on Friday, are we going to hit 80K Bitcoin over the weekend? I think maybe, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't think we were expecting to be sitting here today and being like, well, it's kind of like 90 now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, Trump wins the election since last space. I got wrecked because of Danksy following his popular vote. Not because, I mean,
All me.
exactly right. None of this is financial advice. We're always taking our own bags in our own hands. We like to talk about the markets. We'd like to talk about our own bags, but that's kind of what it is, right? So Trump gets elected and gets elected in a way that is very strong. Controls all three parts of the political, whatchamacallit, down in the U.S. I'm up north, different politics.
Pillars of the government.
Yeah, so he controls all the pillars. I would think he would want to have a fourth pillar. So then, I mean, although I guess you got a stool. You got a stool. 3 pillars gets you a stool. You're still pretty stable. The Trump government is very bullish towards markets. A lot of his policies lean that way, and also positive towards crypto. I think if it went the other direction, we probably would have seen a down and then up. and definitely I don't think as ferocious as what we're seeing. Meme coins, meme coins are soaring. That's awesome. A lot of meme coins are up in the range of 50+%. So that's great. Bitcoin, I think, is nearly 30% on the week. NFTs, there's some that are up. For the most part, NFTs are holding pace, which is good to see. We have talked a lot, or I have talked a lot about ordinals following Bitcoin. That's been the general trend. At times it's hard to have conviction on the ordinal side of things, the ordinal banks, but with this run, as we've seen in the past, ordinals are running with Bitcoin, so they are a leverage bet on Bitcoin and continue to show that they are. Node bunks and Bitcoin puppets are the ones that are leading the way here. There's really about 4, maybe 5 of them. There's some action in ruins, but ruins are I just don't quite. They're just so clunky that I think we haven't been as strong, Danksy and I, and in general. But ordinals have been positive and have done well. So it's good to see that continue. On the meme coin side of things, Doge kind of leading the way. One of the biggest gainers, certainly the biggest gainer in terms of market cap, etc., up 84% at the time of writing. That was this morning. It's maybe a little more. Doge likes to get these really large kind of run candles, and then they'll slowly pull back, and then up again we go. So with a lot of these, we're gonna spend some time on, do we continue? Do we get a little bit of a breather? That's the harder part of it. Nero, Pepe, Fwog, all crushing it. Several other meme coins as well. Binance has proven to list whatever they want, and there's been a lot of FUD around that here recently with a AI coin that got listed that doesn't even have a dev anymore. That went up, 2,000%. So that's crazy. Basically, anything can happen in markets. And you just want to, just because everything's going crazy right now, you still want to probably take a balanced approach and spread it out, etc. I know, I think I don't know if it was Tuesday or Friday, I talked about, my allocation is roughly 60, 20, 20, 60% Bitcoin in the majors, 20 Ethereum, 20 Solana. I think that's played out pretty well. Bitcoin kind of is still leading the charge. That's going to start to shift here soon, I think. And then you're going to, my allocation is probably going to shift more towards Solana and Ethereum and in kind of this alt narrative. And then I think meme coins as well. Prediction markets, I think the Bitcoin price predictions are very interesting. We'll probably talk about NFLs as well. But all in all, quite fun. I know Danksy's got some charts up. I will let him take over the screen as I prep my screen. Have at it, Danksy.
Let me pull up your screen again. Dude, I don't know. These meme coins, if you're looking at these movers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doge, I mean, I bought in 11 cents, which was like mid-October, with size too, right?
Yeah.
With size. And I made, 3x already? And so, I can't really convince myself for looking at other meme coins where I can buy at size. And I mean, I still degen some meme coins, but I don't see the thesis,
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think certainly when we talk about meme coins, Doge is really it. And it's when it comes to mainstream and the normies coming in, we would not be wrong to say that Doge is going to be the meme coin that probably attracts the most attention. However, I think it's an allocation thing, right? It's when you look at it and say, okay, I'm 60% in deep on Bitcoin. When I look at the meme coin allocation, maybe you say, okay, I'm 60% in on Doge, or 40% or 20%. It's probably not a bad idea to have the majority of your allocation when it comes to meme coins in the tried, tested, and true, and that's Doge. Now there are ones from that cascade down the risk curve, and provide more upside, you're going to want to space your allocations. Allocations is most important through all of this, because if you go all in on a meme coin, and I'm talking all in, you go all in on a meme coin and say it's my favorite right now, FWOG, and I go all in on FWOG, and I say, okay, FWOG is going to $1 billion, and all of a sudden it goes down to 250 million, down
that's
50%.
only what? That's like 2x.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
But like,
a 2x.
if you're gonna do 2x, like Doge will give you 2x, ETH will give you 2x from here.
Yeah, but FWOG could be $1 billion in a handful of days, whereas Doge might not be 2x. This is all, we're talking scenarios, right? You go all in on your favorite meme coin, thinking you're getting a 2x, 10x, whatever the case may be, and you think you're going to get it quick, and it goes down half, and all of a sudden now you jump out of there and you go into the next one, and you keep chasing because you don't have allocations. You're going to get wrecked, and you might not be winning, even though everything is going up. So you have to predict, or you have to go in with your allocations, and you have to hold to them with a degree of conviction. Outside of maybe a small allocation where you say, okay, I'm going to trade around with this one a bit, but sticking to some allocations and having a strategy is going to be what gets you the most success. So if you say, okay, I'm playing meme coins and I'm happy with a 2x on a meme coin, which is not by any means guaranteed, but I get a 2x and I want to cash out, great. If that coin later goes up 10x, you stuck to your strategy. And if your strategy says taking a 2x is great, take your 2x. If your strategy says take a 2x and cash out 3/4 of your allocation and leave 25% in, great, right? So that's where you want to really look and approach this. Danksy, tell us about Doge and why Doge is your king.
Oh, this is my current position right now. I blurred out the numbers, but that's like this is probably 99% of my crypto holdings right here, just in this chart. So that's kind of what I'm holding right now. I'm just waiting. Not really. Oh no, I can't really commit size to meme coins, and like I'm just really. I feel like this is like the least stressful way to do it, where you're just putting in size and names that you think are going to run. I mean, I just bought the Sol position. I bought the most recent, and Doge is my longest hold. So that's kind of my current position. Kind of don't have a lot of Bitcoin, but I think ETH is probably my. I mean, it's just if Bitcoin's going up, ETH is going to go up for sure. So that's kind of my theory here.
Yeah, ETH is like so much, and the thesis around ETH I think is still good given the ETF around it. So if you're looking at a major, ETH is probably the best bet to get the most outsized returns. Now, don't be surprised if ETH does nothing, because it's been finding a way to do nothing for quite a long time, and ETFs might impact it to a degree. However, if you're looking for upside, ETH and the majors is I think your best bet. Solana is at all-time highs, based on market cap.
Is it?
BTC obviously all-time high, based on market cap, right? So added supply has put it into all-time high based on market cap.
How do you do it by market cap on this? You can't, right?
You can't. At least I don't know how you can. I wish you could.
But
yeah,
I don't think that really matters unless you're like it only matters when you're dealing with like meme coins, I think.
Well,
like constant changing of market.
Yeah, I kind of question this myself, wondering whether or not market cap truly matters when we get into these kind of crazy bits of cycles. Sure, certainly if you see something ranking, 5th on the crypto charts, then it's something, right? But like for the most part, we're not sitting here valuing all these.
You're evaluating the
market
protocol
cap.
when you're buying. You're buying the coins.
You're just buying charts. You're buying price goes up, right? That's ultimately what it ends up being. A lot of it here, especially during the craziness.
What do you think about this chart? Bitcoin Rainbow. This is the new one, the new and improved one. We're kind of in the same spot as March of this year.
Makes sense.
On the yellow, it's almost getting to. It's a bubble situation. Definitely not a bubble. Yeah, but it's getting up there now. It was at green. Now it's at yellow.
I've been watching some fancy lines that I have on my Bitcoin chart. They've been nice.
Let me see these lines. Can I switch to you?
Yeah, they're great lines. And if you don't know them, Crypto Face puts out some really excellent content. These are called spider lines. Basically, pivot point lines back on the chart from 2023, 2022. I'm not sure the latest set, and then previous cycle as well. So that's what these orange lines are for me, and then the purple lines are the more recent lines. But basically, they're like long range trend lines drawn out. But what is most important is how it's kind of rode through this section here around the 77K range, and then it shot up to the next kind of range here, up above, down, retested, and then it's rocketing up. But what's really interesting is this big gap here. This big gap, I think, is what we're seeing play out right now. I wouldn't be surprised if our current daily candle stays green. I wouldn't be surprised if our current week stays green. Wouldn't be surprised. Not saying, the momentum we have right now is pretty substantial, and a pullback isn't too wild. But typically, when you look at these ranges in the past, when you see these gap ranges, Bitcoin tends to move through them pretty fast.
There's so many lines on this chart.
Right. There are so many lines, but the Picasso says we're in a really good spot.
It says there.
But no, like through this range, and I can't find the best example of it. It's kind of like where we've seen some of the wild drops is through some of these gapped out areas in the lines, right? And we're seeing now one of the largest gaps we've had in the lines, and looking at 98K could be what would be a fast pace range. So I'm not calling 98K because it seems absurd given where we were like a week ago, but to me, 98K is the next range that I'm looking for, and looking for it to happen relatively fast while things are going pretty wild. I think 100K makes a lot of sense to be a challenge to break. And when you start to see some of these lines accumulate around ranges that, I think have been labeled and called for, that, we could go there. Now, we could get a little bit of down, back up, whatever, but I think this range between 80 and 98 is a pretty liquid range. We could test here and then jump right back down to 82, that kind of stuff. But I'm expecting a lot of volatility in this range. But right now I'm looking for it to get to 98 to test. So those are the fancy spider lines. I think they've been pretty good in testing them as you go back through this range, and just looking for it. This is the gap range here, and you can kind of see it back in September here with this big range gap. And it's fallen through that range pretty fast at times. So, thoughts? Am I crazy? Am I just full of like
no? I feel
greed
like
and just like pandemonium and everything, or is this?
I feel like that's a good range. That's kind of what I had in
Right?
my head. I was, originally I was kind of thinking 80K, but we blew right past that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I was thinking the same thing too, right? I was
at
thinking
this point, it's kind
this
of
80K range is a nice little sweet spot. That's where we're looking for. We're gonna, play in this range. Now we're shooting it, right?
90 to 100K is going to be emotional for sure. So I think that those are good numbers emotionally. And then I definitely feel like we could see 100K by the end of the year, if not way sooner. But
we have some fun stuff on Polymarket that we'll get to when it comes to kind of these conviction bets, etc. But there are some Polymarket odds that early this morning were absolute gems, given the fact of how much we've gone up here today. But it's November price predictions, and I think we've already hit one, 87.5, which was like at 60% earlier in the day, and so that return there is 40. That's like 67% return in like half a day if you were on it this morning. So yeah, Polymarket's providing some juicy stuff when it comes to Bitcoin price predictions. But Bitcoin's leading the charge. We're getting a pullback at the moment here early in the day, as everything's rolled over, which is fair. Do we think this is the Tuesday flip? Is this a pullback right back to
Yeah.
81K?
I don't know, bro. It's kind of a tough level there.
Right.
If you let me share my screen, I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at too, because I like that 98 range. So what I'm, let me zoom out here, show you a little bit on the weekly.
Levels,
So
yeah.
a lot of my ranges come from just the fib extensions, which is that 101, the 101 level, pretty much 101K. But that's real close. You put 98K there. I mean, it's you might
you
as
could
well have
wake up
that.
into 101 quite easily at the 98K, right? Like
Yeah. And it's kind of same concept with these, right? I think along the way, these will serve kind of as a ladder on the way up. And it's really the only thing we can use to guide, especially once we're above these levels, bro. There's nothing we can be like, oh, what's going to stop us? What's going to slow us down? And then I think right here, we're kind of at a pivotal spot too. I think if we hold here above like that 86,429 level, which is also a fib extension level, I think we'll probably continue up to that 101, that 98 to 101 range.
So what are the
Pretty
two
quick.
ranges you have above 101?
So the other one's 130, 404.
Yeah.
And the other one's 166, 335.
Okay. I got 133-ish
Yep.
and 160. Both
Yeah.
kind of gapped out spider
It's there.
ranges.
It's programmed.
It
is,
is
bro.
very, very programmed. 166,
Pattern recognition.
160K. And then from 160, it's a shot to 240.
Yeah.
Let me see. I posted
is
some
a
calls before.
number. Who was that? Kobe? The Kobe call, getting past 100K was going to be hard, but then 100 to 250 was going to be easy.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he's come back. No,
but I
isn't
also
it Kobe the trader account.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I have
but I also
175 in my
marked,
prediction. So
175.
yeah, on my post.
I like that. Yeah, honestly, bro, I think it's got some room to run. I don't think there's any excitement slowing down right now. I think a lot of people are. Dude, I'm FOMO buying still. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like I gotta keep buying. Like how much more can I allocate to this paycheck? But yeah, honestly, bro, here was our first collab space here. This was a Monday, very pivotal day there in the market. But dude, we had a lot of call outs over the last couple months, bro, where there were still really great entries at 54K. And sitting from there, I mean, this is just Bitcoin specifically. I marked out a couple others as well, but I mean, dude, that's almost 100% return on Bitcoin. Like, that's an awesome trade right there. And then, same thing with Ethereum. We had a pretty good spot as well. First collab space right here. ETF approval deadline was over here, so I think it happened somewhat early on.
2,400. You've seen a 50% run on Bitcoin really in the last week here, right?
Yeah, a lot of and dude, we've gotten some awesome entries and just some awesome call outs along the way, dude. It's a bittersweet moment because I was telling Danksy, bro, I'm like, dude, I just want more crypto. I wish I had more Solana, more, I wish I had more everything. It's like I'm happy we're here, bro, but bro, 15K means should have hustled a little harder. But I'm excited, bro. Either way, yeah, I think that those levels are pretty spot on. And again, I'm really only basing them off fib retracements, off of just some big major levels. Just this original retracement down from what is that, 670K roughly down to 15, and then from back up, and that's really kind of how I'm just getting the fib levels. I'm sure there's some other ones up here too if we keep drawing them, but usually that's where you get a little more predictive than technical. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. What do you guys think about ETH? ETH finally ran.
It broke some good levels. It's at another level where some sellers can meet it, but
great retest here.
If we can break and hold above like 3,400, that would be pretty good.
Even I got a 3,300 marked out, so like this shot above and a retest at 3,300. also
Yeah.
looks really good. Like Ethereum's chart finally looks like a nice chart.
Finally,
It hasn't looked
yeah.
nice. It hasn't looked nice at all. And all you're banking on is like, okay, this 2400 range is providing liquidity. It seems like it's a pretty good solid base. Your risk of dropping much below 2400 is minimal. That it looks like a decent entry, but upside didn't really look there. We're like, oh, we got to get above 2600, et cetera, et cetera. And then we've just smashed out with Ethereum here as it kind of lagged. And then, Ethereum became the, hey, this is what's next kind of scenario there. And so that whole narrative is played out to Ethereum just ripping. And then now, of course, the additional narrative on Ethereum is, look how far we are from all-time highs. A lot of other things are in all-time high, like why isn't Ethereum? And so it's providing a nice little value buy where it's, still like, what are we looking at here? Another 40% to all-time high?
Yeah, 45.
45, yeah. So there's
There's still a lot to run. Still
a lot of reward there in Ethereum. Given
I mean,
where
10K
we
Ethereum
were.
is quite possible this cycle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here's another one of my fib levels. This is what I'm looking for once we break all-time highs. 11,372 for ETH.
Things are looking pretty good.
I got no crazy
Um,
lines on Ethereum.
Same. I'm not really a crazy line drawer. I'm just
I got some on Sol, but
Yeah.
Ethereum, I couldn't find where to draw them on Ethereum. They just didn't provide a great
you couldn't see
spot.
the
It
angles.
just- Yeah, I didn't see the angles. Solana, I saw the angles, and I put them on there, and they look nice too. But Ethereum didn't provide the opportunity. It's like, for instance, Solana right now, it's also in this massive gap range that it's been riding for a great period of time. So where it bounced off 158, that was kind of my gap range, and then it goes all the way up to 320 here. Or 310 is where Solana looks like it's going to cruise based on my chaos lines.
I wish I had more
So-
Solana. That's probably my only one I don't have a lot on, but I think I have enough ETH to cover that.
Yeah, honestly, bro, it was probably one of my Solana was probably one of my better trades actually, and I wish I would have bet more money on Solana because I only bought like $200 down here at $11, so I got 22 Solana out of it, which ended up being about 5K I think at current price if I remember the math correctly. But dude, I mean, $200 almost 5K. That's an awesome trade. That was one of them where I'm like, dude, frick, like, really missed out on that.
$2,000 in there.
Yeah, 'cause
$5 grand in there, like just
The whole
Early
house on there, easy.
Yeah, early on it was a
Easy.
little slow, bro.
I think
And so-
I think Easy did that, did he not? And then he bet his whole savings on Solana there.
Who?
Yeah.
I know someone that put like 5K in Solana, like at like $20 or something. It was like when Solana hit $200, and he like totally forgot about it. I'm like, I'm in crypto, and he's like, oh, how's Solana doing? I'm like, you would not believe it's at $200. He was like, what the fuck?
It's like,
crazy,
no
bro.
way. Hope
Yeah.
he didn't buy it at 20 and sell it at 11.
No, he still hold it. It was like a while back too. It was like a while back.
Nice.
In this like chart. It's like
Dude, that-
probably like March or April.
That's like finding like a couple $20 bills in like your old coat wallet or something.
Just stealing for a second.
You're good, bro.
But yeah, this is that Solana range here.
Oh,
So you're
yeah.
riding
It's
this
in the
line,
no-man's
right?
zone.
And then
Perfectly.
straight up to this one here. So like it's been in this range riding off there for a while, and it just looks really nice. And so this is, again, if you like kind of look at how this kind of works back, you go way back, and so this is off of ranges. This is probably the same for Bitcoin off of July 23, where we had this
Why is it that
spike.
point that does the range?
It's a pivot point. Crypto Face kind of explains it a bit, but like essentially, like you're looking at it on anything, you're looking at long-term trends and trend lines, right? That's TA is often based off of that, and sometimes it just kind of comes back to play in there. And if you look through how some of these lines roll off, and I could probably draw more down in here that would spike up some up this way, but it's just long-term trend lines. And so with a pivot point, you're able to draw these lines that go back to March 23 and feed all the way up. And like this particular one is back to May 23, and that's this trend line that we're falling off of. And it would actually, I'm curious, actually, you could probably extend this back this way too here, and just look at that kind of range. But it like any kind of line you draw, you can make the line fit the narrative pretty easily. But it's an interesting concept, and for Bitcoin, it's been pretty good. But I think it also fits nicely in Solana. Like I said, I didn't quite see the same setup for Ethereum, so I just didn't draw any. But when it comes to Solana, they're pretty interesting. So you can take it back over there, Tyler.
For sure. No, honestly, yeah, those kind of remind me of like the fit, like a fib spiral. Like at first, it could, like I was kind of confused on where they started out because I think I missed the first time you showed them, but that's kind of cool, bro. I like how they I mean, it looks pretty accurate as well.
Yeah, if you go back, Bitcoin, this is probably the easier way to see them. Again, whole lot of chaos. That's why I draw the lines super faint, because I don't want them to take over the charts. Because for me, it's these ranges and where the liquidity zones are, the cross lines that I kind of focus a little bit more on. But when it comes to price movement up and down, I'll still refer back to them. So like the first set was drawn way back in June 19, and then again April 23 for Bitcoin. So actually before the July kind of range is where it's provided that pivot point, and away you go. So all kinds of lines here that you can kind of reference off of Bitcoin all the way up to 7 million if you want on the original on the original lines. But they like I said, they provide an interesting reference point, and as you go through, you'll see some of those testing in there and support and resistance off these particular lines as it goes through. So but what I find more interesting is when you see these gaps and how it kind of produces this kind of fast range liquidity, et cetera, or if there's some convergence between old and new, and that could provide some support, et cetera, on there. So another kind of thing to consider as you look at things. You want to find what works best for you, et cetera, when you're looking at stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, all it is to try and give you odds towards what the probability is for certain scenarios playing out when you look at things. So they're interesting, especially how they're providing some confluence here more recently, right? Like you look at the way this weekly setup is there, and then back up there, like it just fits perfectly. And so I've been looking at this range. Of course, you shot through 4 lines to get to this line here, right? So like it kind of sat there and ran off. So very interesting.
Yeah, no, it is, bro. 'Cause it almost has like timing in play as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen.
Any alts that stand out that we're looking at?
The dog.
Doge is essentially an alt, but it is king meme coin. I don't know if we haven't moved into meme territory yet. Sui, of course, I think is, it's been really the
all-time highs now.
The number 4, I think, as of late in this cycle. And so Sui has been super strong here. I don't have anything marked out in terms of fib lines here,
either, but
Tyler may or could.
I mean, all-time highs were just new territories at this point, and seeing what people value this at their L1s. But it seems like, I mean, nothing really happened, right? It's just everything's pumping. So that's kind of why.
Oh, that thing took off, bro.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the altcoins that me and Tyler have talked about in the past have had some pretty good had a good week. Like Aave went on a tear this week as well, along with let's see, like Compound had some signs of life finally again. Same with Uniswap, and then Chainlink as well.
You want
And
to
that's
pull up?
kind of how I'm trying to play this cycle is these alts.
You want to pull up your chart for? What do you got for these?
Another one I want to
Yeah.
mention as well as Radium.
My bad.
You're good. I threw a little fib on Sui. I mean, there's the the first fib extension from this downward motion here, but then you do it in the flip side too. So pretty much from the bottom to the most recent high, and that I mean that's kind of again it's more. I'm just basing it off of it's the same fib retracements, the same patterns, just in the negative or positive too. So I mean, they usually play out pretty well. So I'm interested, to be honest with you, to see how these play out in the future because
It's really
I
an
don't have anything
interesting
to
point.
base it off of. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this one's showing up pretty perfectly. A lot of them actually show up pretty well too. You look at Aave, even these ones on like the smaller scale. Sometimes if you do it from like here to here, right? 'Cause it's the same thing, almost the same level as well. But actually, that I'm almost measuring the same one. But yeah, no, Garrison, you're right. I mean, everything really ran. It's hard to say what didn't run. It'd be harder to find something that went the other way.
There's
I like
probably a
Aave.
bunch that didn't run.
Yeah, there are a few obviously, but I think the alts are going to continue up a little more just because I was using Aave as that early indicator, and so if we continue to think that if that's what we believed, we keep looking here, we break above this 61.8% fib retracement. If we hold that, kind of similar to I think where Bitcoin was looking, I think we move up to these levels too, like the 215 to the 237. As long as we hold here, otherwise we could see a small. I think we could see another retracement come back down here potentially, but I think it's more likely that we see it continue run up because just there's so much excitement.
I was going to say there's some interesting, like on these alts where you're seeing this break and then kind of rest on recent levels. You
Yeah.
kind of look at that and say, okay, maybe we get a bit of a rest or a retest in this range and a continuation, or at least a rest and support in this range here too.
Yeah.
So I think they're both sitting pretty well for general positivity on the market.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, a lot of them look super similar, especially like if you were to forget like what price was, and as far as patterns go, like the same fib retracement, like you go to here to Cardano, bro. I haven't even really marked it up in quite a while, but same thing, right? We came down on the red zone. Here's the red zone too on the flip side. I mean, it's the same thing. Aave obviously had not reached the same spot, but a lot of them look very similar, right? Here we are, 61.8. We came up here and touched though. A lot of them look super similar, and that's what's like crazy too. Is like as far as patterns go, they're like in like a screenshot. Again, forget price. They all look the same, and that's where it's like you recognize a square. And when you see the square as a kid, right, you finally can put the little peg in the square hole, and then you like, oh, that's always a square. And like, dude, Fibonacci, sometimes even to me, bro, like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised. Like, but it does the same thing over and over to the point where it's almost kind of funny to me, bro, where I cannot believe Maker, right? Maker, we were so scared on. So I'm like, dude, I don't know. Textbook play, bro. Literally textbook play. Came down in here. It's the same look almost on every chart, bro. It came down here perfectly, came in that 78.6, 88.6 level.
And now suddenly it looks really good.
Yeah, right? Now I'm like, actually, bro, I'm not surprised it did that. I don't know what I was so scared for, and I wouldn't be surprised if we make a run up to 1800. But all of them, bro, like I said, all of them kind of look the same way, right? We're here, and here's GRT still making its way
so if
up.
you're trying to see the patterns on this, are you expecting then a rejection off of these recent levels for these altcoins, and then a move up, or what's your expectation if you were to call a couple of these and say, okay, we've come here, we've hit these key levels?
It depends on each one, right? Because they're all kind of like in a different spot in the pattern. So like here with GRT, bro, I mean, I would expect us to come back down to that 18-cent level. And I always refer to the fib retracement as like a ladder, right? If you were to climb a ladder, you need a support, for a foot, a resistance for your hand. So each level, and it's always kind of done that. Like even here, you can see, right? We came in here, played off of here. We had to break through to go to the next step of the ladder. So like even this, right? I think our next zone to even really care about is here. I mean, you could argue this, but I mean, you're within percentages, maybe 1 to 2%, right? Yeah. You could argue one of these tops. You're in 1 to 5%. If you're okay with 5% loss or 5% gain, depending on how patient you are, how disciplined you are to a plan. But it just depends on exactly where it's touching the pattern. Here, I would think we come down here a little bit farther, and another 18-cent DCA wouldn't be a bad idea if you were holding that already. I mean, I don't know if I would ape in that bag right there because it's still a risky play, right? If you take away the excitement out of the market and just go back to charting, like that's where it's like, well, you know, if I was leverage trading, I'll be a lot more patient with some of these. If spot trading, right, if we're just buying them, it's a little different. Like, you know,
So-
even fight us. Oh, go ahead.
The reason why I ask and the reason why I kind of look at that is like, you know, if you take this at a bit of a crypto macro, right, and you say, okay, we're still probably, you know, Bitcoin dominance centric right now, and we're trying to peg that rotation from Bitcoin into alts and where that looks and where we are in that kind of range and portion, right? And what that timing looks like, because we had the election timing, you know, that was what felt like programmed. We crushed that, right? And we're in this up only range. What's the next kind of critical timeline that we could look for to say, okay, is it, you know, Bitcoin hits a certain level and then we can expect, you know, a move into alts. You know, meme coins are kind of wild and on their own, and almost feel like they're going to happen regardless. But like, you know, if we want to try and look at and time where that rotation from Bitcoin to, you know, more Solana, Ethereum, and in alts, how does that look? And looking at these extensions, et cetera, it you know, where does that kind of feel like, right? That's
You want to pull up the
big
Bitcoin dominance chart?
Yeah, let me see.
What I kind of have been thinking in my head is also when Trump is officially in office, I think that could be big. And also once a lot of things settle down around the world with wars and whatnot, Trump says he's talked to a lot of world leaders, I guess, already, and he looks to be settling down some things. So once there's not so many wars going on, I think that could be a flip as well.
The 60% range has been so like such a major kind of support resistance range here. So it's very curious to see what we do. Like, you know, if you break above that 60, maybe it's a slam run for Bitcoin for a little range here.
Maybe 70. A little more leg
seems
up.
crazy. It seems crazy to get to 70. You know, but possible. I don't know.
I mean, if you see here, it's like possible, right? If the thing is, Bitcoin has to
rip to 70, and then it falls off,
like
and then that's when alts kind of cruise in.
Yeah, it peaks at whatever, and then it you just flows into ETH and all the other ones. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, it's hard to say, bro. I mean, if you look at like total market cap too, like within ETH and Bitcoin versus just the alts too, I feel like for the total market cap, I'm pretty sure we're approaching all-time highs, but for just the alt market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, I mean, we have another 50% to run till all-time high. So, you know, keeping that in mind on the Bitcoin dominance, I think a lot more institutional funds, not international, institutional funds are going to be coming into Bitcoin more than alts. I think you could see probably Bitcoin move fast because of that. I think you'll see as Bitcoin goes up, we'll see excitement go into the alts. I don't think people are going to be attracted to Bitcoin because they're going to be like, well, bro, if I buy Bitcoin at 80,000 but Doge at 30 cents, like they see the return difference, the percentage gain is going to be a little bit more attractive to them. But I think once Bitcoin hits like 100,000, bro, I think that's when people really start to be like, oh, holy shit. Because I think we're starting to get there, bro. I think we're almost in that spot. But I think as far as institutional money, bro, more institutional money's flowing in than retail money at the moment. Although there is retail money flowing in, I just think it's not as much as the institutional funds. Like people are going to be excited. I don't know what good old orange guy Trump's promising, but like I don't know, was it the zero taxes? Like that's what I'm not exactly sure on. And maybe investors see that as like a good opportunity. Is like, hey, look, bro, we got to start buying. If there's zero tax on it, let's start buying it now. Why wait? But yeah, I think that 100K Bitcoin, bro, wakes a lot of people up. I because it wasn't very exciting even when we were at 65 or 50. Like it didn't seem like the market sentiment just didn't seem as exciting as it does now. Now it's like, bro, like everything's popping, everything's going, everything's green.
So everything runs kind of almost in tandem. Bitcoin holds around the 60% range till it gets to 100K. It breaks 100K and then it runs. It runs to 130. It gets to 70% dominance and then the rotation into alts.
I have no clue what I'm looking
Possible
at.
scenario kind of thing.
It's hard to say because I think like what the Bitcoin dominance chart is like percentage of money in the Bitcoin market cap. Like, because you could also utilize like a similar chart to this. Like if you look at the total market cap with Bitcoin and Ethereum versus the total market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because it kind of gives you the same example. I don't know. I didn't do the math on it, but I'm sure as far as percent goes, bro, it's probably right. If you were to compare the market caps, 60% of the market, all of crypto market cap is Bitcoin. And I think that's kind of what it's getting at here on the chart.
This is what I'm looking at right here.
Yeah.
This
and
is
I don't
where
know
Bitcoin at
Go ahead.
40K was at peak Bitcoin dominance. Here at 73. And then you see this dip here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but here. Then you start seeing all the money flow back into alts. And this, while Bitcoin's still going up, it's just alts are going up faster. So this is the chart here. So that's why you see
Okay.
Bitcoin going up and the Bitcoin dominance going down here.
What's the pink chart?
Pink chart is Bitcoin.
Okay.
And the red and green is Bitcoin dominance.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Know, bro,
so I'm seeing like another leg up here. And we hit like 65, maybe 70, and then we see one pullback, and that's all the money going into alts. That's the Bitcoin sell-off going to alts, and then we might see more Bitcoin. We might see more upside of Bitcoin, but your best return is on alts. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, 100. Yeah, dude, definitely easily.
That's kind of what I'm reading into this right now.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to say like what's a healthy Bitcoin dominance level. Is it like is it always going to be a higher level? Is it going to range around? Will it get more consistent over time? Because you think with Bitcoin dominating the market as far as market cap goes, like will it always dominate it because of the money that's going to flow into it, or is the alts going to break over it? Because I think that's what the fight is here on the Bitcoin dominance. Because if institution keeps buying in mass quantities, bro, it's hard for retails to keep up. Which would most of I don't think a lot of institutional funds are going to go into altcoins, even though the continuance of Bitcoin will be bought. Like I think U.S. alone is going to buy. They promise to buy 200K Bitcoin a year. Like, and as far as dollar cost, however much money that is, I don't know how much that adds to like the total market cap either. But I think, like you said, bro, alts are at this point they're going to be the best return for people like us.
That's kind of how I'm playing it. I think I still have mostly Bitcoin holdings at the moment, but very, very little more. But I think I'm going to start to kind of rotate back into more, double down on some of the altcoins I'm holding at some of these levels before we really start to see them run.
Damn, it looks like we just ate up that red candle since we've been talking.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's good. I've been kind of watching.
I don't think we have a pivot this week.
Pivot to the moon.
I think we look. I'm doubling down and saying 98K is where we go before we pivot. So
dude, we're already 15 minutes in. We still haven't gone past alts.
it's well, I mean, it's crazy. And then as you say, you're looking to cycle into alts. I'm like,
Well, I
still
mean,
feel
I
the
don't mean I mean slowly, kind of dollar cost average for the rest
Sure.
of the
Yep.
year. Like
adding
I'm
to alts more
envisioning.
than anything else.
Yeah, I don't mean like all right now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because I definitely still want to catch a little bit more Bitcoin profit, and I know the main goal, typically for most people in crypto, is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible.
Mhm.
But
Those
my
are
idea
Bitcoin
is to make a
maximums.
good return on some altcoins and then circle back into Bitcoin down the road.
Beware that if we get any kind of pullback here, on Bitcoin, everything else is going to pull back that much more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like,
Actually, I would say I don't know. People might be circling to alts.
it's gonna be interesting. I feel
Yeah.
like it's premature. I think there's definitely opportunities in alts. I'm still thinking that Bitcoin is
The alts that I'm currently looking at are kind of at some rejection levels.
yeah,
So
right.
I
We looked
wouldn't
at
say you're
those
wrong for
fibs
sure.
and like we test, we support, and then we continue kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we don't continue, then we're pulling back. And that means Bitcoin's pulling back, and then you break the level and you drop. Right. That's kind of the way I would think about that. But there's so much movement all the way around that I think for the most part it's looking and feeling pretty green. There's just like the FOMO is really jacked in right now, and
I love
probably
it.
will
That's my
continue.
favorite
The
feeling.
headlines will hit and all that kind of stuff. So I think we
Once
got to
Jamal-
cycle into some meme coins before Danksy gets out of control. Although actually no, because like we got to also touch base a little bit on NFTs.
Last thing,
well.
my bad. Last thing for
Go for
like main caps is I feel like it's going to be a Bitcoin story the rest of the year. Bitcoin's going to be super hype. A lot of people are going to be talking about it. And then next year, it's not that Bitcoin's going to go down or do bad. I just like it's alt season. We still haven't
Yeah.
had alt season yet. So
You're going to get people looking at Bitcoin and being like, I missed it.
that Doge candle is crazy.
Right. We missed it.
Dude, this Doge
I
candle
was
is
sitting
insane.
here as we're talking about everything and just being like, I can't believe Bitcoin is actually sitting at 88K right now.
We had a
I
very strong weekly
even
close.
even though we've been talking about it through this whole cycle, I still like 2017 me, and well, even earlier 2014 me. Unfortunately, when I was listening to Tony in the back of the office and he was saying, "Hey guys, did you hear about this Bitcoin thing? It's like $250. Isn't that crazy?" And then like a few weeks later, a month later, hey, it's at $750. And I'm thinking to myself, I should be buying some of this stuff. This is crazy. And I didn't. But, and then 2017, I'm full on and loaded up. And then it gets to, what was
And now
it
you're
then?
a
Like
Spaces
20,
host.
yeah,
on Bitcoin
exactly. It got
at
to like
90K.
20K. And I'm like, oh my God, it's overcooked. And I gotta sell out and get out. And it crashed and I felt great. But like thinking where it was then and like, to fathom that it's at 88K, even when we said it was going to get to 100K and then get to 1 million and all that kind of stuff. And now it's actually happening.
It just felt
It's just
slow. It was like,
yeah.
Dude,
and
that's
now
how they
it's finally
grind you
here.
out. Like that's how they get
Well,
everyone out.
this cycle from spring to fall here was such a rough ride that, this is just like, and this is
Like-
not even a euphoria yet.
I'm telling myself, I'm like, see, I told myself so. I knew it was gonna happen.
Right?
Dude, I feel the same way. I was buying in and I was like, oh my God, this better not be the drop right here. And then
Did we already peak? Right?
Yeah, I know,
No way.
for real. And it was possible at those levels for us to
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So
We
no,
peaked early, and
we
that
had
was-
a very strong weekly close on Bitcoin at 88K. So technically on the new weekly
this is
as
a
well.
new week.
Or
No,
well,
this is-
I lie. We had the weekly closed
Yeah.
above 80K. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
But either way, very strong.
Yeah, it's breakout mode.
It's up only.
And then
It's
within the day,
what's the November one?
up Upvember. I don't know.
No sell November.
No sell November. But yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
You're saying something about Doge looks great. It looks
Doge
better in
looks
Bitcoin right
insane.
now.
Like, look
Right?
at this chart right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it is.
insane.
The extension test, and this is actually one of the few ones that I have a fib on, but like
Pull it up. There's nothing up there.
right, when you hit that fib, well, we blew through the 2618, but this 1618, like perfect test, pull back, and then broke through. Now we're looking at what is it? 2618, probably a retest, and then up to 42 cents there. So like, do we hit 42 and then come back? I don't know. Either
We're
way,
gonna go
it's-
straight to $1. At this point.
Doge looks really nice. It looks stronger than Bitcoin at the moment. I won't say that it's going to be stronger than Bitcoin because
From
that seems like chaos. But like it's looking like
I think
it's
it might be stronger
running a
than
nice little
Bitcoin.
breakout.
From last Monday, Doge is up 137%.
Well, I mean, the thesis behind Doge
I'm telling you, this has
for
been the
now
same
is
whole time.
it's
It's Elon.
it is Elon.
It's normies.
But
it's Robinhood.
I would say that the bullishness behind Elon, I think, is way ahead of the cart, as you so to speak. Right? I personally don't see Doge, Elon being a part of the government. I just don't. I mean, he's into too many other things that I don't see how him being part of the government and doing things in the government makes any sense to
How we can
who
even
he
handle that?
right? I think a lot of this play of him kind of piggybacking off of this whole kind of meme of the Department of Government Efficiency and all that kind of stuff isn't. It's just Elon things, right?
So I
there's going to be a point in time when we realize that Elon's maybe other than being like maybe like I don't know, maybe he gets some kind of title and he has some.
I was talking.
I'm not worried
I
about
wish
that. I
was.
just want him to post about Doge. This is the prime Doge posting time.
I don't think he has been. He's been posting it covertly with D.O.G.E, but like I don't think he can or will post about Doge. He hasn't for so long, and I think he's been slapped too many times. And maybe he's no longer scared of it because he's best friends with the president. At least he believes, right?
I
He's
was
definitely best
listening
friends with the
to
president,
the
for sure.
Joe
I don't know if the
Rogan.
president's best friends with him though.
No, but that's how it works.
Trump wants everyone to think that he's their best friend, but he's not best friends with anyone. Trump's
He's not
best friends with himself.
with anyone.
He's best friends with himself.
He hasn't posted about Doge in a while, so I don't know.
So, what my stance on Elon being in the government? I was listening to Joe Rogan, and they dropped a podcast, him and Elon Musk, last week, I think. And Joe Rogan was asking him about it. Like, it seems pretty serious. He's like, how Joe Rogan? That's pretty much what he asked Elon. He's like, how are you going to even take another thing on your plate? With everything that you do. And he's like, yeah, just I don't know. Basically, less sleep. And then they were kind of talking about what he would do, and similar thing like he did with Twitter is just cut out all the fat, is what he was saying. It's a lot of meetings, he said.
But does he put his other roles on pause? Like
No,
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
he's just a like a decider. He just makes decisions. He doesn't execute anything.
But can he? Can he be part of the government and also be, running SpaceX and part
what
of
he had-
Tesla and what I mean? Like, is that
It's
like that? Just seems
crazy.
like he's
It is.
crossing so many like lines and
And
barriers
acts.
there.
Yeah,
right?
but like he's not like screwing in nails at SpaceX or writing code at Twitter. He's just like they've sent him a deck and he makes a decision on which way to go.
Yeah, but like as someone that's like in the government, you have to disclose all your like any like.
I think Trump can figure out a way to fix that.
Rules and regulations. All this other than just freewheeling that like he's just gonna come in and do all this stuff. Like it just
That's what it sounds
there's
like.
reality and there's fantasy, and it just like there's a really blurry line right there that they're trying to like get across. But like I don't think it can happen. I mean, if it does, then yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Doge is
well,
some kind of government currency according to Elon, right? Like
No, it's not gonna be. He's just gonna meme Doge, and then it's at 36 cents right now, and he's gonna
he's
meme.
going to use Doge to pay for all of the frivolous government spending is what he's going to do. He's going to find some way to like, you know what I mean? Like that's I don't know.
yeah, it's
Either
hard
way,
to say if it'll
Doge is the
actually
king
happen.
meme, and you know, with Elon being as close proximity as he is to everything that's going on right now, that at least until inauguration and government cabinet officials being named and all that kind of stuff, like it's one of the stronger plays out there in terms of memes. So I'll give you that,
Easy
Danksy, and I
meme.
know you've been loaded up on it, and
I should have bought more.
you've
in
been
reality.
so right, and it's looking nice. It's looking, you know, boom, test, run, test.
I shouldn't have
run.
bought. I should have just spent
Test
all my
run.
money on Doge and not buy anything else. It's actually outperformed everything.
Look at it on the day; it's up 3%. Doge is up 3%. Everything else is, well, these are all memes, but everything else is red. You know, Bitcoin's barely up on the day, but it is up on the day. Like it's Doge
It's
is
tripled.
running the day.
It's tripled since mid October.
Other than what the heck is this?
It's literally tripled since mid October.
Chart.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
That looks like a good buy opportunity, maybe.
I just see it's up 47%, and it's just, I think this is one of the Trump meme tokens here. That's chaos. That's chaos. I don't even know if that's real.
Like my entry wasn't even that good.
On Doge, you're saying?
Yeah, I got it at 11 cents. You can like
I mean,
it
that's
was
still
at that range for
pretty good return
like
there.
300%.
4 months. Right, that's what, but it's in like a month maybe.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the best performing asset ever created.
No bias at all.
I mean, I think now it's just there's just no rules with Trump in government. Everything's just greed.
Okay, so I know we have a good portion audience that is focused on NFTs as well. The dark mode transition from TradingView to this slide is pretty chaotic. I apologize for eyes, but you know, we're seeing this nice volume run here on NFTs on Ethereum, at least. For the most part, ETH NFTs have been holding pretty well. Here's one that I've been yelling about for the last few years, and I don't know if this is the chart being broken or what's going on here, but we're actually seeing buyer to seller ratios in the positive, really for the first time. We've seen a blip of it in October 26th. We haven't seen any of it for the previous, I think 180 days on this chart. We really haven't seen any of it for quite some range. I think a bit in November of last year, October-November range when we had that kind of rally spike. But for the first time, we're seeing this 28%, 30%, 50% above on the ratio here. So something to note, I just noticed this right now. So that's actually pretty interesting. It could mean that NFTs are getting a bit of a bite. I know cycle-wise, this late fall, early springtime, I'm trying to think when NFTs really run in 2021, but like we're right 2021, that would put us to 2025. So, you know, NFTs are not off the radar. There's going to be so many different aspects to play. And you're just going to want to kind of dig into what your niche is as well. But, you know, NFTs are probably going to catch a nice little bite here as well. Obviously, we're seeing that early into ordinals. Look at the new buyers. Like everything is super positive on this ETH chart to the extent it looks like this data is broken. I haven't touched any of this. This refreshes daily for me using Dune Analytics through Ethereum, and a lot of work's been put into building this. But like seriously, everything as you scroll down is catching. It you know, price action hasn't said that we're back, right? Like floor prices haven't changed, but when you're looking at these like leading metrics, we're back.
All right, what are we buying here? What are we buying? I got hella ETH right now. What are we buying?
What are we buying?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the prices here. No, I think we've the pond.
Has any?
Uh,
Oh wait, so let's talk about
I
this
want one of
first
these.
because we talked about this in.
We've been talking about this heavy with
What's
our
any
favorite-
Damn,
sales? No sales.
319 soul.
319
sales,
is the
right?
listing. There was one sale. This was from a
Oh,
hacked wallet.
21. Okay.
But this is the NFT collection. Actually, not even technically a collection in the first place. And so the artist for Fog has been creating these Fog one of ones for the community, is what I understand on this. And so he's been creating these and then decided, okay, well, I'm going to cap this at 100 collection, and this is the collection. So a lot of these NFTs that are out there are basically custom one of ones for the individuals and probably our likeness from what their current PFP, etc. So the holders of these are whale type holders or large meme coin holders that are playing in Fog and have had these created. The art on these is phenomenal. I think Fog in general, for me, it resonates way more than Pepe. And I've made the claim that I see Fog exceeding Pepe. Now, don't hold me to that. I think that's a kind of a bit of a ridiculous pie in the sky kind of belief. But to me, Fog resonates more in the sense that it's Pepe, but it's cuter and it's better and it's got none of the nefarious backstory to what is there with Pepe in its early inception, right? And so these as an NFT project and being only 100, and maybe there's a larger collection one day, maybe there's a buy-in for that with this artist and what he's able to do, and that's a way to grow Fog as a meme coin, and I would strongly suggest that's something that the artist considers, because I think it helps grow when you look at Sprotos and other meme coin related NFT projects. I think it creates your army and your community even further. And then these become the 100 OG. That's the scenario I see playing out in my head. And that's why I have a lot of conviction in them, even though I don't have the amount of soul to toss at these, because I think before the bids got up, and we were initially talking on this when the bids were in the 30 soul range and recommending it. And then I was thinking, okay, well, 50 to 100, I think, is where it makes sense. That's at that point in time, the lowest listing was 10,000 soul. No one's really trying to sell these. Everyone's probably got a lot of conviction in Fog and therefore not wanting to sell, and probably don't need to sell. But 100 soul probably becomes something.
I'd cheat these back so hard if I had one. There's no way they're keeping this soul price.
Yeah. With what I just laid out, you don't think so?
Dude,
so
it
Fog
all
becomes
hinges on Fog being a meme. Like
you're 100% correct. If Fog dies off, if Fog peaked at 500 million and it goes down to 200k, 200,000, 200 million, then yeah, you're right.
It's the next shiny thing in like a month.
No, but all these other meme coins have survived. There's a lot of them that have been around for a while and they're in the billion range. If Fog becomes $1 billion meme coin, I think that plus a NFT collection plus these 100 OGs, like there is a scenario where this becomes like just a massive get. Is there risk to it? 100%, because like you're playing with meme coin and you're relying on meme coins, but you still have an NFT PFP related to the meme cycle with a lot of people. If you scroll through this, there's a lot of KOLs in here that mean a lot to the NFT space and to the meme space. So like,
for sure. I mean, it's just a marketing thing for them. Like, 100%. Give them one of these and they start chilling Fog because they got an NFT now. But like, I don't know. Like, how many meme coins have actually stood the test of time? Probably like 30.
Of the ones that have gone over, tell me how many have gone over 500 mil and have since vanished, other than political memes and things like that, right? Not a lot. When you get up over 500
I don't
mil,
know if they vanish. Like, I don't remember. That's the thing. Like, you don't remember. Like, there's so many. Like,
yeah. So I think these at 100 could be really interesting. I think
100 Sol. What is that?
Yeah.
Like 20K.
I wouldn't buy one at 100 Sol thinking I'm going to make a 5x on them or make a large return on them. I just think that these, along with Sprotos and along with Miladies, become a pretty good representation of meme culture. Right?
100 souls, 22K and $54.
Right, but if you put in I mean,
The current bid is
I'm
80,
only here to make money.
and
So like,
no
if it's not
one's
making a
sniffing at it.
5x, like, what am I doing? Right? If you don't think you can make 5x on, like, I think this instant sell 80 might be
I don't
the
think-
actual price.
I don't think you're buying many NFTs to try and make a 5x. At the current
I think
market,
there's some NFTs.
maybe some micro caps, but you're probably buying, a lot of them to try and make any kind of capital return, right? The
I also
NFT
don't-
market has been mostly dead for a long time, and only now is starting to show some metric life. We've seen some floor appreciation, but even when we've seen the floor appreciation, like you're not seeing the outsized gains that you're seeing throughout crypto and alts and meme coins. You're seeing returns, and you're seeing some positive returns, and it's good. And NFTs definitely show a lot more. There's a lot more to them than what we see in meme and crypto and culture in general, because it's that community ownership and that sense of identity, right? But if you're looking to buy one of these for a massive return, it's not the right place to be. You're better off to buy the coin and hope that 5x is, and away you go, right? But they're interesting either way. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out, because watching those bids from when we started on Friday start at like 25 SOL and run to 80 SOL and still not have an accepted bid or an accepted trade on them is
Once
pretty
someone
wild.
accepts it's going to go downhill real fast.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
It looked like there was one sold for what, 21?
That was
a
hacked wallet.
yeah, it was a
Gotcha.
liquidation.
Okay.
Because that one that sold for 21 might be one of the best ones in the collection, because it's a Popcat Fog, which is phenomenal.
Wait,
Like, that's a double
pull it
win.
back up. Pull it back up. Pull it back.
I liked it, bro. When I seen it, I'm like, dude, the thing's kind of sweet.
This thing is sick.
I mean,
This
I
thing is
think
amazing.
it's great marketing on their part, but
That
I
that
think
is
if one of them
the
sells,
best PFP you could have.
dude. Honestly, it might just be they might have just hacked that one it was like a insider hack,
I don't know, but like that 22, 21 SOL steal is
Is it not
It's crazy.
listed?
because and it's worth 4x right now already.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a great marketing thing. I'm not sure what value it holds. You might get some money from the airdrops, like people just airdropping the wallet coins.
Right
But I would
now,
not-
what we're seeing for NFT success outside of ordinals and the 4 collections that are up 25% right now, not all of them, but the 4 majors there that are up 25%, with Bitcoin being up 25%. So therefore you're up a heck of a lot there. Like that's to me where you're seeing the best gains when it comes to NFTs, is the mysterious ordinal play where they go up with Bitcoin, is a phenomenal buy. Though we've seen that run on them now. Now you're not probably wanting to enter them, but like phenomenal buy. Other than that, like it's the meme NFTs are the ones that are seeing the most move. NFTs in general are up, but Project Aeon up another 25%.
Ooh, that's the one.
That's-
That's my favorite meme NFT for sure.
That's with ETH being up, everything. But see,
Yeah.
you look at these and you say, okay, they're at what is it, $4,000?
But I
And
bet you
there's
get
how
some,
many in the
I bet
collection?
you get some great alpha being in these communities. Some
Yeah,
decent
but-
alpha.
If you're not part of the KOL KOL Flog Cabal, you don't think that's the best alpha that exists? And I'm not part of
Right,
Flog.
but if you buy
right?
one,
Like-
you're not gonna. It's not like there's like a Discord where you're like entered. Like you're still a
How
nobody.
do you know?
If you still buy?
How
it.
do you know?
What
Once
do
you
you mean?
PFP that and get into the Twitter chats, how do you know? But like, yeah, any one of these communities, I think, are interesting. I think the meme cycle is going to outpace anything that goes on in crypto. There's going to be a lot of losses for people that bet on the wrong thing, but you're going to see the best returns in memes. They have been and will continue to be. And some of these collections here, that's where you're seeing the early bits of NFTs. That's kind of this like marrying of crypto and NFTs together in a way that I think really works. And could have been what DeGods could have done, didn't. And that's my cue for pivot. Unless anyone's got anything further on NFTs.
No, they've held very strong, especially now that ETH's gone up,
They're actually moving with ETH.
which is
which
usually
again
does the
is
opposite.
which has been the opposite for quite a long time. I wasn't part of the 2021 cycle, but to my recollection from the old relics out there is that NFTs did move up with ETH back in the day as well, and so another positive sign to see NFTs moving with Ethereum appreciation. We'll have to see if this continues. Right, everything is up as it is, and you're seeing some really good moves on several collections. Creeps had a nice 25% bump. Obviously, we're seeing some of the meme cycle ones bump pretty well. Some may be down, and actually, Milady's the counter trade often to what NFTs are doing. They tend to trade opposite. They're back to 5 ETH though.
Yeah, I mean
so
those
they're
are all
a
just
nice little range. I think
one day.
They break 5 ETH and move above. They're still pretty interesting, but you're not going to see the 5x on any particular NFT. Likely, maybe apes, maybe punks.
We got
Maybe some of the
Inks
smaller
burn
ones you
coming
could.
up. The Inks burn coming up too. I think on the 14th for Quirkies.
Yeah, for Quirkies.
Yep.
Which the Quirkies dropped a little bit, which brought us to some good entries. So
Where are they sitting at now?
There's like 2 listed at 0.6.
Which is back to that. Why is this chart so wonky? I got to go to the daily chart. There we go. That's better.
Which tends to be a buy. Like usually they don't go much
historically lower. 0.65 is the range that we looked at.
So and then they got a burn on, or like a new mint pretty much on Thursday, 0.25 mint. Or you had to do some other things, quest your assets, which is basically stake them and earn rewards and everything. But pretty interesting stuff they got going on. I think those are very undervalued.
Yeah,
I may be biased, but those are hopefully one of the ones that I would expect or hope to 5x. For
yeah, right, bro. I'm about to find out, bro. I'm about to burn like $1,000 of NFTs for Inks.
The Inks art has been teased. Looks pretty sweet.
It's my favorite so far.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Definitely looks good.
But that was it for me.
Finch is quite the artist.
Facts. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything else for NFTs. I guess I haven't looked at Quirklings, but
let's cycle
as we're these memes.
Cruising through time here. Time is going faster than the price appreciation of all these crypto assets. So what NFTs what memes do interest you the most, Danksy, other than Doge?
What do you think DGod's at right now?
I think it's probably similar to last week. It probably dipped and it's probably caught a bit of a get since then. And I bet you it's right around, I think we were right around that 30, 32, 33 mil range last week.
Yep. It's at 34 and a half. Hasn't moved.
34 and a half.
I was going to say 25. I don't know why, but that's what I felt.
And it's holding off this kind of hourly 200 moving average as a kind of bit of resistance where it was, last week kind of bumped off of that. Last week we were in this 30 mil range as well. I don't know. I don't if Frank could find a way to make DGod feel like some of these other meme NFTs and like provide some kind of like vision on how they are like just this enhanced version of them, maybe there's something to it, right? But like, I don't know. I think he's fortunate that memes are crushing it right now, because otherwise this is like 2015 on its way down to zero, right?
Dude, that's what happens when you. What do you think about Pang? That's one of those that's like, remember Pang? One of the first meme coins.
Yeah, I don't even
Shot
have it
up.
on my favorites list anymore. Did it cross
Exactly, dude.
500
I'm
mil?
telling you.
Is
It's
it a
the
good
same with
example of
Vlog,
a,
bro. It's the same. It shot up to 200 something mil back
but
when
not
meme
500
coins.
mil?
Bro, 200 mil back then was like basically a bill for meme coins. Like zoom out. Like this was the first meme coin that was like on Sol. Like one of
260
the
mil.
first ones. You remember this? They're like, we're gonna airdrop Pang for Pudgy holders.
Yeah.
Did
But then
they
what
airdrop
happened?
it to Pudgy holders?
I have no clue. If we've moved on to something else already.
Yeah, right.
We moved
It's
on to shinier meme coins.
yeah. I mean, it's
They moved on to
not much to
Walmart.
Billy? Billy's still a thing? Also
Billy's
200
still on
mil.
my list.
I'm just looking at Soul top movers or whatever.
Yeah, Billy 222. Again, not one that pushed over. I want to find an example of one that went over 500,000 and is now kind of dying, and how often that happens versus the ones that go well above. To me, Myro, what did Myro get to? 440.
Got very close.
Got very close.
Hmm.
Those charts do look decent. But meme coin charts are not the same as like a
Nishi is still running pretty hot. Michi hit 370 or
How about Peanut? Speaking of,
dude, I have some peanut.
you have some Peanut? Man,
Oh.
Binance. So earlier today, or very early today, I mean, it probably was like almost last night for me, West Coast. But like, Binance listed Peanut, and it also listed Act,
ACT.
a mostly defunct AI coin. Dev gave up on it. That defunct. So I don't know how AI coin AIs without the dev, considering it wasn't something that was actually an AI. What do they call them right now? The AI
Agent.
agents, right? So I mean, I think AI agents in relationship to meme coins, there's definitely going to be a run there. But when it comes to most meme coins, it is like true tried and tested memes and or cute animals that are mostly crushing it. Peanut, the squirrel who was wrongfully cut short life. I
The
think
Harambe moment.
Yeah, the Harambe moment, right?
no,
Like this,
way worse. This was way worse. They like went into the house and like took the squirrel. Like the squirrel didn't do anything wrong. Harambe
right?
at least like attacked a child, right?
So-
well, I
No,
say
he
that,
was
like
attacking a child.
someone
Just
jumped
child,
into Harambe.
just like tripped in.
Yeah.
Don't say bad things about Harambe like that, bro. Also something we want to talk about as well.
It was a violent.
What if we look
killing,
at
that's
instead of USD, look at Sol?
the price in
If you know what
Sol.
I mean. Yeah, because then you're just like, instead of comparing it to dollars, you're comparing it to, like, if Sol goes up, if the coin doesn't go up as fast as Sol, then you just lost money.
Right.
It's almost like a double risk asset there.
These charts starting to flatten out a little bit more.
But when you're still on USD here, go to WETH and then
What
go
the
to market.
heck?
I mean, market cap and price are the same. It doesn't really do much. But if you look at, it's like this one, you would have lost money if you held it from October till now, or like start of October till now.
Yeah, I mean Pepe's had a little bit more weakness than some of the ones out there.
Right.
But like PopCat might be a good example. PopCat is also
Yeah, down compared to
Down.
Sol. Bitcoin 90K.
Is it?
Unless my friends are lying to me. Basically, it
Wow.
is.
no 89.
Got close.
I mean 89 feels like 90K.
No,
You
I
know,
got
it's going to get to 94 and people are going to say it's at 100.
It got
Um,
very close.
89.7. Either way, we're going to 98. Haste.
It's another day
Um,
of waking up and you're up like 20 grand again.
So another quick pivot here. This right here, Bitcoin 100K in 2024. I think 50%. It looks like a pretty clean 2x at the moment.
Dang. That
I feel
I don't
like
know
if that is it's like a
And like-
leveraged Bitcoin position almost.
is
It was 25
Polymarket not
cents 2
legal in
days
the
ago.
Is Polymarket not legal in the US?
Yeah, you just
Or-
VPN it. It's pretty
Okay.
straightforward.
That's what I
So
figured I'd
yeah,
have to
Bitcoin
do.
100K in 2024, off this momentum right now. 100K is going to be a hard one to pass. So as much as we're in this strong rally right now,
Just has
100K
to
gives me a
tap
little bit more pause. But like when you looked at this one here, Bitcoin in November, 95K, and this was 60% a couple hours ago, I think.
Dang, so you could have took a nice 11% return right there.
Earlier in the day, it was at like 30 cents.
I saw it's not really crypto related, but the
Oh,
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight.
That's I'm not betting on that shit, bro.
It's probably a rigged fight, but like it almost looks like if you were to bet on Tyson, which that's who I would say would win if it's not rigged.
Obviously, when it's rigged.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
I'm not touching that one. I'm not even gonna watch it.
It's on Netflix. Why not?
Bro, I'm not watching that shit. There's no way it's fake.
Apparently, we'll be able to
yeah.
watch it on Netflix.
a couple hours ago or an hour ago, it was at 60 cents,
Dang.
70 cents. Like this almost feels like the popular vote. So take that how you will. It looks
In
it looks
November,
yeah.
I mean, we need to pull back and just not move anywhere.
No, I mean you just have to hit this level and it pays out.
I know. Pull back and
Right?
this doesn't go up from here.
Yeah,
like a month.
for not to hit
Like-
95K, you're saying?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even
I mean the leg it's on right now, 95K seems pretty good. I think you get close to 100K, you might not pass 100K. I think you pass 100K, you wake above
Dude,
100K, and then you
how
drop
it's moving now. 150K is in the books.
100K. You
Programmed.
mean?
150.
No, but by the end of the year, we're talking November, 105K November,
I mean,
but then
I can
also
easily see it
100K
go to like
end of year. 100K end of year is a 2x right now on Polymarket.
I can easily
Dang.
see it go to like 120K by end of November at this rate. Right? It's just pullbacks.
I'm tempted.
So-
I'm tempted to do that.
These to me have been super interesting. Of course, I was looking at them earlier in the day when they were even more interesting.
Well,
But yeah,
I feel like this one, the other one's this one's interesting. 100K by 2024. And
this one seems, your one risk is okay, you get close to 100K, but you just can't break through that glass ceiling, right? Very possible.
It's on Binance, right? It's the Binance chart.
This one in November, you got 35% believing it's going to hit 105K in November.
I don't know.
95K is still almost a 50% return.
What's the risk reward you putting on this? All right, let's say you have 10K in Bitcoin right now. How much are you putting in this? You have to sell your Bitcoin right now, sell how much it is right now, and then how much you gonna put in this.
So you
Maybe
have 10K
2K.
in Bitcoin. How much are you putting in this?
Yeah, like 2K.
I think
probably.
I would say 2,500.
2,500 for how much? What's the return? Put 2,500 in there. So you make 6K plus.
That's at 105.
Right.
I would look at it and say this 95K and putting in like half. And you'd make 1,000. That's 33%.
You make 1,000. You make 1,700
1,700.
on 5K. But if it hits 95, here, that's like what? You make like $500. No, is that right?
Let's see. Are you
It
talking
goes up
about like if you were to
10%.
hold Bitcoin and it were to
You
go
would make
that high?
you'd make $1,000 on the 10K.
And you make
You make
1,000
$1,700 on the
on
5K.
half. So you make 2,200.
So
If you
you
do
go
this
5K on 95,000, and you go 2K on 105, and you go 3K on 100 by the end of the year.
So you're just betting. You're just playing the option play here. Just options.
You're just doing options now on Bitcoin.
Okay, then why don't you just fucking buy options on Mara or something? At that point, and have unlimited upside.
Yeah, but you can sell this.
You can sell options on Mara. You can sell them options
At what cost?
at whatever it's priced at.
Yeah.
But like you have unlimited upside instead of here. Like let's say you're right. Let's say you're right and it hits 150. It hits 105K by November 23rd. You already cashed out. But if you buy options for it for like January or February, like you still have all the upside there. You can, if it hits 110, if it 100 and whatever, you're still reaping that reward.
You would make 70% if it hit 105K by the end of November.
Right, but you're limited to 70%. If you buy options on like a Bitcoin ETF or buy options on miners like Mara, like Marathon, or MicroStrategy even, right? Once it hits the 105K, you're still in the position and you can still get the upside there.
So your thesis is you don't make bets on Polymarket towards price predictions. You just play the conviction in the actual market.
Like if you're
And
using
you're back to-
Polymarket as leverage, I just thought about this now, so I might not have this idea fleshed out. But if you're using Polymarket to basically have like a binary outcome to price, I feel like at that point just go buy options on MicroStrategy, because you also have that binary outcome where at this point this is XYZ, but then you also get unlimited upside.
I'd be curious if you were to run some numbers, how that would look, and then we like review it on that, because that's an interesting part, because like then you say, okay, well, let's get back to Polymarket being strict outcomes on events, right? If we go into sports, which I know you wanted to touch base on.
Oh, what I want you to do is I'm down to go toss in $5 every week with you for you to pick a parlay on all the NFL games for this week.
A parlay on all the NFL games.
Like, look,
Dude, that would be crazy.
if you just pick them, like you just pick them off right now on Monday for the 17th, I'll toss in $5 with you every week.
Dude.
You're the expert here.
It's a win-win for you, Rhodes.
We'll split it with you.
Yeah, I mean, picking matchups is wild in the NFL, given some of the upsets that you get on a regular basis this year. Like we were a blocked field goal away from guaranteed every single pick 'em out there being dead by the Denver beating KC. I'm sure some wild people out there pick Denver to beat KC because
Is
there's
there
always those people
is
too.
there people with perfect pick'ems right now?
There's people that can. I prefer to look at this Super Bowl odds one here. I don't know where Commanders was, but I think they're moving up.
Commanders
Look good. These top three, pretty clear.
Chiefs are still undefeated, right?
They're undefeated, but like they're not the best team.
by a hair.
The
Yeah,
Lions and the Ravens are
player.
better than the Chiefs, other than the Chiefs just knowing how to win.
yeah.
Talent wise, et cetera, whatever. Like the Lions and the Ravens could easily beat the Chiefs on any given Sunday.
Bears got no hope anymore.
Bills don't have the offense. They're just on the back of Josh Allen. 49ers getting healthy, so they're looking good again. Eagles are interesting. Talent wise, they're right there with the Lions. They just seem to drop the ball when it matters most. I like the Commanders still. The Commanders pushed the Lions pretty close. And then the Lions, I think, are the best team in the NFL. So that one's interesting.
Commanders are decent. I really wish they didn't beat the Bears the way they did, but
Bro, the Bears are ass.
yeah, no, the Bears, they're done for. Maybe next year.
That's what you said last year.
Yep. That's what it is. That's the story of a Bears fan. Maybe next year.
So we covered it all. Any last bits? I do have to drop here. I'm 7 minutes overdue to feeding the family. What else are our thoughts, or what are we looking for the week ahead? We covered a lot. We talked about a lot.
Yeah, dude, today felt like we could just talk forever. So hopefully, wake up, another green candle, another monstrous 10% Bitcoin.
Let's not
today.
let today be the pivot day.
True.
All
I
right?
didn't even post about the pivot day on the post.
Because every Monday, Tuesday has been the change in direction for the rest of the week.
Got the pivot. Like here, I'll show you.
I think the momentum's too strong to pivot. That's what I'm going with here, and I'm looking at this line, this orange line right now being a magnet.
It already happened.
Like Danksy said, we're pivoting to the moon.
Already pivoted. This is the pivot.
We had a brief pivot during the show, and it's just
exactly.
straight ripping.
We called it in early to this week.
I'm not gonna lie, I was looking on the minute chart. I was waiting for it to hit 90K while you guys were talking. I'm like, come on, and then it's like, nope.
Give it an hour. Come on.
Yeah, just go take
I
a
would
nap.
imagine the ETF flows are really strong, and that's probably helped push it a bit here this last little while, the last couple hours.
Bitcoin did break market cap over silver as well today.
True.
Everything. Okay.
Can't be stopped.
Well, it has been good, guys. I am excited for next week. We all should be excited. There is, there's this possibility that next week we're not as happy, but I think for the most part we're where we've been wanting to be for the last years, but obviously the last 6 months. So
100K
let's go.
Bitcoin next Monday? Yay or nay?
Oh, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed.
Yes.
100K Bitcoin by like Wednesday this week.
According to my lines, I mean it might only be a day or two.
Yeah.
And then I'll be talking to Danksy about how I didn't make these polymarket bets because I was way too confused by the option plays because
Bro,
I'm
just
an NFT guy.
Blame it
Just
on
go
Danksy.
buy options. I bought options on MicroStrategy and this like Tesla double long Tesla ETF today. So
Yeah.
just options. Just send it. I think it's cash. It's risk on for sure.
Tell me the
ETF
math.
volume surpasses 6.9 billion today for Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
6.9.
billion, yeah.
I mean, is there
That's
any
like
other
not
sign
even
that
like a meme coin.
is there a sign that is more significant than 6.9? billion. Let's go.
420 billion.
420. Yeah.
I guess next one we're looking for 420 on the month.
Yeah. Mm,
Let's go.
It's programmed.
Right?
a
Program.
quarter maybe.
We're gonna let Rotes go. He has
Yeah,
some
yeah,
responsibilities besides looking at green candles. So thank you guys.
Ah,
There's a
Monday,
giant fog in this chart.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. We'll be back at
Yes.
120 Bitcoin next week.
120.
120.
Jumping the shark.
Keep moving the goalpost.
Let's go.
Take care, guys.
go.
Have a good
All
rest of your
right.
day.